Now we start problem on this chapter, thermal properties of matter. Now let's see what is given in the problem. Now a glass flask has a volume. This is the volume of glass flask is given. Filled with liquid at 30 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature. If the temperature of the system raised to 100 degrees Celsius, this is second temperature they given. How much liquid will overflow? Coefficient of volume expansion of glass is this 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5 per degree Celsius. And for liquid, it is given 75 into 10 raised to minus 5 per degree Celsius. Means volume they given for glass flask. This is the volume of the glass flask. Temperature they given 30 degree and it is raised to 100 degrees Celsius. And then both liquid and glass flask both expand. And due to that, some liquid may overflow. And that how much amount of the liquid overflow that you have to find out. Now, how we find out? We can find out change in volume for the glass flask by using coefficient of volume expansion. You know the formula for volume expansion, V2 minus V1 divided by V1 T2 minus T1. So this is the formula for gamma. And by using that, this V2 minus V1 we can find out for glass flask and we find out it for liquid. Initially, so the glass flask is filled. So this is the volume. This is the V1 for both glass flask and liquid that we are using. Now see here. So this is V1, 1 into 10 raised to minus 4 or 10 raised to minus 4 meter cube. Then temperature 1 is 30, temperature 2 is 100. So rise in temperature we required here and it is 70 degrees Celsius. So here gamma we can write V2 minus V1 divided by V1 T2 minus T1. By using that we can write a formula of this V2 minus V1. So increase in volume formula. So increase in volume is given by this V2 minus V1 is equal to gamma into V1 in a bracket T2 minus T1. So same we can find out for both beaker means the glass flask and we find it for the liquid. For beaker, increase in volume is equal to, here we are using gamma for beaker only. So here two gammas are given. This is for glass and this is for the liquid. Now, so this is T2 minus T1 is 70 degree is difference. V1 is this 10 raised to minus 4. Gamma for glass is given here 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5. Substitute this, then you can find out increase in volume for liquid by using only the thing is gamma for liquid we have to use. You get to increase in the volume, then overflow liquid you will get by taking difference in these two volumes. Definitely you are able to do it. Try to solve this question. Now this is increase in volume we have to find out for beaker, which is given by this formula, and I think it is coming 84 into something. So this is gamma. This is V1 and this is rise in temperature 70. So 84 into 10 raised to minus 9. This 10 raised to minus 4, 10 raised to minus 5, it is coming 10 raised to minus 9 and 84 here. So this is the increase in volume of beaker. Similar manner, we can find out increase in volume of liquid after the expansion. So increase in volume of liquid. Again, only here gamma for liquid we have to use. Everything is as it is. Then we get, so it is increase in volume is 5250 into 10 raised to minus 9. So volume of the liquid rises more as compared to this beaker. Therefore, definitely the liquid overflow, and the liquid overflow is equal to increase in the volume of liquid minus increase in volume of the beaker. So after taking subtraction, we get that much is the volume of the liquid which overflows. So this is the correct answer for this question. I hope everyone understood how we get this. Now after that, next question is question number 2, problem number 2. Which will require more energy, hitting a 2 kg block of lead by 30 Kelvin or hitting a 4 kg block of copper by 5 Kelvin. Specific heat for lead is given and specific heat for copper is given. We already learned the specific heat formula, Q upon M into rise in temperature. So rise in temperature we can write by delta T, delta theta. So any symbol we can use. So, and the heat is equal to specific heat mass multiplied by rise in temperature. This is a formula for the heat that we have to use. We can find out Q for lead and Q for copper, and then we compare both the Q, which one is greater and which one is smaller. And by that, we can decide which one take more energy to heat it by that particular quantity. Now let's see here. So you can see here mass of the lead. This is rise in temperature of the lead, specific heat of the lead. Similar manner, it is for the copper. Mass, rise in temperature, and specific heat. Now the formula for the Q is ms into delta T, the same formula which we discussed here. Now we have to find out for lead. So Q for lead is, so we only do the multiplication of these three quantities. So 2 into 128 into 30. So it is coming 7680 joule. Similar manner we can find it for the copper. And it is 4 into 5 into this 387, and it is 7740 joule. Now you can see here which one is greater. So this for heat for the copper is greater. It means that copper takes more energy to heat. So this is the conclusion. So the answer is copper will require more heat energy. I hope everyone understood this question.